So, ancestral veneration. Our ancestors do deserve our highest respect, even when you consider generational curses, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to show you how in this video to honor our ancestors. If you receive value today, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, come on back for more free spiritual guidance, hit that little bell so that you'll be notified. Spiritual superstars, remember, come in, type in your 4 1s, your hashtag 4 1s. It's important that we start things off by taking a deep breath in. And that way, we're giving our ancestors, we're giving God, we're giving ourselves the best of everything. Ready? Deep breath in, challenging your human, kissing your higher self, connecting with the divine. And then exhale fully and completely, pushing it all out of the way. So, our ancestors. Our ancestors are those who have ascended on before us in different generations. Those are our ancestors. The ancestors. Our ancestors have walked this beautiful earth before us, sometimes with us, and always right beside us. And what do I mean by that? I mean that yes, our ancestors were in human form in a generation before us. However, your parents are your ancestors as well. And when they transition on back into the spiritual realm completely in the Abba kingdom, or maybe you see it as heaven, maybe you see it going back into another time, however way you look at it, they have walked beside us. No matter what strife, stress, generational curses may have plagued your family, no matter what upsets, no matter what harsh energy was there while they were living, maybe you never knew them, and maybe that forgiveness needs to happen. But they are still walking beside us because our ancestors are in fact all spirit. They're all energy. And we are energy as well. However, we are still a part of our vessel, which is our human. And the spirit realm is right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. All over. Dimensions are not cut off like you walk into a door or you walk out of a door. Dimensions are very fluid. There are channels. There are passages. There are pathways. Okay? There are portals. But dimensions, that's all spiritual. That's all energy. And it's all fluid. So, how do you know this? And why do you need to know this? You know this because of the spiritual experiences that you are going through. You know this because you see your dog or your cat communicating with something in the air, and you realize their partner, your other fur baby, or their owner just transitioned. And it seems to be that they're communicating. You know this to be when you see a baby communicating with what seems to be the air, but they're looking around, they're actually reaching out. They're having a conversation before they can talk. You know this to be when you see an older child or you hear your child say, I just saw Grandpa Charles, or I just saw um, Clemcy, whatever it is, okay? And that baby never met Grandpa Charles or Clemcy or whoever it is. And they've ascended on. You know this to be because you are spiritually gifted. All of these things happen that don't have a medical or human definition. And so you need to know this because our ancestors reach out to us all the time and they are right there to help us. Why? They're there to help us break generational curses. They're here to help you live your best life. So you might say, okay, well, your parent may have ascended on. You may not have had a connection with them while they were of the living. You may have not known them when they were of the living, and maybe you found out that they transitioned. Whatever the case is, maybe you were really close. Maybe you argued on that day. Maybe you didn't get a chance to see them. Whatever happened, they have transitioned on. And your job is now, as their legacy, to first forgive them by forgiving yourself for any ill will that you still are holding towards them, because they are now your ancestor. Not only that, but they are your closest ally. And here's the reason you need to know how to have a connection and a relationship with your ancestors is because they're closer to you now and as your ancestors than they could have ever been. Because energy is fluid, because they are always reaching out, because they are always prepared to help you with energetic problems, solutions are there. For example, let's take generational curses. Generational curses are problems that are passed down through generations. They are everything that is of lack. The spirit of lack is generational, and it is something you want a solution to that keeps eluding you. Okay? But there's a solution there. So when you are showing your ancestors respect, it allows that passageway to open for help. It is not something to be afraid of. It is something that is a blessing. For example, my mother transitioned on last year suddenly. Before she transitioned, we were very close spiritually. So she may reach out to me at the moment that I was thinking of her. I might see her in my mind's eye, and she may call. Or I look at my phone and there's a text from her, or I get her inside of me and I see her and I hear the message, call her, and I reach out to her and she's saying, oh my gosh, Nikki, I was just thinking of you. Anything like that happens, and comment down below if that happens to you or if it used to happen to you, right? And so knowing that connection while she was of the human living is something to consider. It's a reality. It's a fact. It's defined by itself. And so now that she is transitioned on, there's no more barrier that is limited by mortality. Does that make sense? You see where I'm going with this? She's all energy now. Look at Shireen. Absolutely. telepathic powers are within every single one of us. And we've known this generationally. Just look back at the Kabbalion. Look back through history, and you will see many, if not all, successful people through across cultures throughout the entire globe speak of an infinite power. Speak of reaching out and connecting to our ancestors. So, knowing that there's no more obstacle, it's a matter of you showing your ancestors respect and receiving that message that is your spiritual guidance. So, how do we do that? We start with forgiveness. If there's any ill will towards anyone that has passed on, or if there's any ill will towards your ancestors, maybe you are a Caucasian and your ancestors you found out were owned slaves, and maybe that's something that you've got to learn how to deal with. Start with forgiveness, forgiving yourself, being proud of being Caucasian, being proud of who you are, being proud of the good that you're putting out into the universe, being proud of what you've done with your life, being proud that you know that's something that needs to change. There's an energy there that might need to change, and start with that forgiveness. Start with that. And then start to forgive those that have come and gone before you, because that energy is going to just keep going. And you don't want it to affect your legacy. Let's say that you are one that is dealing with poverty now. You're trying to figure out how to have more. You want to be successful. You want to be financially stable and secure. And you know that your parents haven't been that. Maybe their parents haven't been that. You have to forgive yourself and start there. And then forgive your parents. You get to a point as a human being, as an adult rather, where you have to recognize, wait a minute, I've got some accountability here. So I get to say, I'm going to choose to have a different mindset. So let's say, I'm 50. There's no way that I can say my parents didn't teach me how to deal with money, how to handle money, how to be business owners. So I never learned that. So I'm just trying to get there now, and it be something that I blame my parents for. No. It's a good thing, right? That's a plus. Be proud. Forgive. In that instance, I need to forgive myself for not knowing that information and for not choosing it sooner. Because every day you see young kids deciding, okay, I learned this, I'm not going to do this in my life. So someone older, you don't get the luxury to say, okay, 30 years later, you're just getting to say that and you're still blaming those that have come before. So start with that forgiveness. We've got to do that. Because if we don't start with forgiveness, we're letting resentment fester, and that energy is going cross dimensions, and it undoubtedly affects our legacy. Whether you have children here or not, energy is energy, and energy doesn't lie. So that's how we show that respect towards our ancestors and how we connect with our ancestors. We have to be open to that, okay? For me, it's not a matter of burning ancestral money. It's not a matter of having to do anything that's super commercialized. It's not a matter of being all extra for the camera. And I really encourage you to be careful about that, about what you see others do as influencers, and being really careful about how they influence your connection with our ancestors and with God first. Be careful about that. You've got a private connection with the Most High. You've got to learn how to hear from God. You've got to learn what's going on with you in the privacy of your own home, in your room, in your car, when you're walking, when you're in the bathroom, when you're in the shower, bath, and when you're doing your laundry, when you're cleaning up, when you're buying groceries. You got to know what that experience is, and you got to know how to interpret that. So keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind. When your ancestors, when you ask for your ancestors to help you, that's a great thing. Be comfortable asking for their help. Be comfortable. So we start with forgiveness of self. We forgive them for whatever they've done and weren't able to do in their lifetime that you feel is poor judgment or anything that you're resenting. Gotta let that poor, unhealthy, lacking energy go. Otherwise, it's still strengthening a generational curse. You can't do it and expect for different to come in your lifetime and in your legacy. You've got to be able to say, I forgive them. All right? So when you need their help, it's always. So we do that by really honoring our human, having good intentions as much as we can. Are we perfect? No. We gonna always get it right? No. And we get to ask them for help. They see things before we see it. Remember, there's no obstruction that they have now. There's no mortality. There's no limitation. There's no lack where they're concerned now because they're our ancestors and they are in the spirit realm. So we get to hear from them very clearly. Now, for example, like when, I don't even know what the title of this video was anymore, but now I'm on a whole thing with ancestors, so just bear with me. And if you have any questions, any concerns, please comment, let me know. So, for example, like my mother spoke a lot about ancestors and ancestral veneration. And one of the things that she spoke a lot about was the way that our ancestors reach out to us. And she reaches out to me the same exact way. And did it from the moment that she transitioned. From the moment. And we were not in the same state when she transitioned. From the moment. And so I want to share that with you so that if you got anybody that has transitioned on, I feel like we all have someone we know that has transitioned on, you're going to receive communication at some point. You may think of them, and it may be, for example, if they used to love chocolate chip cookies, and you may start to smell chocolate chip cookies all of a sudden, and they're nowhere near you. You're not baking. There's no chocolate chip cookie near you. But you've got this taste or you've got this smell of chocolate chip cookies. What is that? Clarifaction, clairgustance. It is a spiritual gift. And yeah, it's happening. because you are spiritually gifted. And now you're aware. And so you have that connection with our ancestor or your loved one who has ascended on and they're reaching out to you. Could be your cousin who used to love lollipops. Now all of a sudden you start going like this. Oh, I got a taste for a lollipop. You can see it in your mind's eye. Then all of a sudden you think of her. And you wonder, dang, why am I thinking of you? And why am I tasting a lollipop right now? Because she's trying to get in touch with you. You've heard me, some of you heard me share this story before where I went for a meeting and the woman, I knew her husband was battling a sickness and I wasn't sure if he had transitioned on or not. And I asked her at the end of the meeting, how's your husband doing? And she said, oh, he passed on not too long ago. And I said, okay. Now, the reason I asked her that, and because I wasn't sure if he had passed on, was because I could feel his presence. His presence was very big, very bold, almost as if he was a bodyguard. Just his presence, to the point of me looking over to the left as if someone was standing right there beside me, as if I'm watching you because that's my wife. So I asked her, I follow my spiritual guidance. Okay? What did I feel? I felt spiritually guided spiritual communication. I felt the tingling. I felt the chills. I felt the prickles. I felt the waves. I felt the itching. And I knew there was an energy right there, one embodiment of an energy. So I asked, and that's what she told me, and we walked out. And she said, oh, he's in a much better place now. And I said, I know he is. Tell me this. Did he smoke? Did he smoke cigars? She said, like a chimney, and bust out laughing. And I said, I know, because he's right here. You know, we're walking down the hallway at that point, and I said, that's all I could smell. He's right here. She said, oh, yeah, he comes all the time. The girls think I'm crazy. I said, well, you're definitely not crazy, loud enough so everybody could hear. You know, your ancestors, your loved ones, they reach out to us all the time. Comment down below who's on this live, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on. Hey, Boss Beauty. Hey, Shireen. Hey, Kundalini. Hey, Tamiko. Thank you so much for coming in here and typing in your pound or your hashtag and your 4 ones. We want you to know this, spiritual superstars. Spirituality is simple. It's not commercialized until it is. Spiritual industry needs to be more diverse. And I'm on a mission to make that happen. I need your help. I need your help. I can't do it by myself, and we're not even going to try. If you are ready to take that leap of faith and start your business, we want you to partner up with Spiritual Guidance Academy. I want you to thrive, but I want you to help others thrive. And I want you to give value to our collective, which is continually growing, thankfully, because of all of you. So maybe you just woke up and realized that you are spiritually gifted. Maybe you just realized that your cats and you communicate unlike anybody else can do. Maybe you just realized that you tap into other people's energy and you can heal them. Maybe you just realized that you are an energy healer. And maybe you just realized you need someone that can help you learn and master your own spiritual gifts. But maybe you realized you don't want to stop giving the messages to the people that you feel God wants you to give them to. Maybe you realized that you're having psychic premonitions. Maybe you kind of want to call yourself a prophet, or that you have prophetic dreams. Maybe you realize that you are receiving the tingling, the prickling, and the waves of energy, the shock waves, the bursts of energy within your human. And you don't know quite what to do with it. You don't know how to handle it. And it's annoying to you. Maybe it's frustrating to you because you know there's nothing medically wrong with you. Maybe you get the ringing in your ears, the tinnitus or tinnitus, and you don't understand why a medical doctor is giving you something homeopathic or holistic to heal it. Doesn't that mean that it's not a medical problem? It's not something that needs to be solved with a medical doctor or that route, traditional medicine? And then if it's not, what does that mean? Come on over to spiritualguidanceacademy.com and join us. The membership is $1.99 every month. We're getting ready to meet in a couple of days, and you're going to receive from more people than just me. This is way bigger than just one person. Join the collective. Be of service. We're growing Spiritual Guidance Academy, and it is the largest spiritual community for people to come in and not be judged, but to be loved on, hugged, and to receive value, and to give value. We're all about integrity here, okay? We want you to be a part of that. So if you're ready to serve as a spiritual consultant, teacher, coach, reader, healer, master, whatever your expertise is in holistic medicine, I'm a holistic doctor. I'm a spiritual guidance expert. That's my life. And you are in alignment with me. And so, yep, I want you to join our mission. I want you to be a part of what we have going on at Spiritual Guidance Academy. All right, so Kundalini says, or Kundalini, excuse me. Hey, I keep waking up and checking time on my phone during night, and for the last 4 nights, it says 3:33 a.m. What could this mean? It means a whole lot. Let me tell you. Go over to spiritualguidanceacademy.com and download your earbook, How to Hear from God. It's going to tell you exactly what that means. Access it. It's 100% fully accessible right away. It's $4.99, so under $5. You will find that answer, and you will find much, much more. And that book is digital, and I am still adding wisdom. So not only are you going to get almost 300 pages of generational wisdom right now, When you download your copy of the book, you're going to get whatever else I add to that book for the whole year. For the whole year, you've got access to that book. The whole 2022. So I encourage you all to get over there and get the solutions that you need. The universal code is real. Spiritual alchemy is real, but it defies human logic. And when you've got all these situations happening, you're starting to see synchronistically, you're starting to put the puzzle pieces together, you got to do something with it. And I encourage you, I challenge you not to ignore it. So let's see what else. Thank you so much for commenting. D says, I had a dream about moving out to a different city. D. What else came with that dream? What else came with that dream? You want to look at the different facets. When you're interpreting dreams, you want to look at the first thing that I was always taught to look at, to recognize when you're trying to interpret a dream. I learned this from my mother when I was very young. Is this. You want to look at the different facets of that dream. So when you are seeing the different scenes pop up in that dream, okay, you'll see something that is a thread in every single scene. So if you dream and you realize it's just that one thread, undoubtedly you're going to have another dream or spiritual experience, out-of-body experience, that is going to connect with that one segment of that dream, and it's going to tell you very specifically what God wants you to know. Okay? I hope that helps. Download your ebook so that you can know exactly how to do that and get the solutions that you need that are unique to your spiritual awakening. Ashe, E.R. Black, Ashe. Tamiko, or I'm sorry, D. That's correct. I feel these energies, people's emotions and intentions. Absolutely. And so what do you do with that, right? Tamiko says, I need help with distinguishing between minds and theirs in my mind. My hearing is coming in strong. Excellent. Excellent. I can hear angel songs and my name being called with this weird vibrating high sound. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. And see, as quickly as I can say that's beautiful, someone else may say, oh my gosh, that's annoying to me. And it's only because we have to remember that we are the soul within our human. Okay? So all of what Tamiko please don't let me pronounce your name wrong, Tamiko, is sharing is definitely an awakening, the symptoms of a specific awakening in her life that's calling her to be in a higher level of life. So what you have going on is needing to put the puzzle pieces together and decipher the next step quickly. And that's why the book, get the ebook, How to Hear from God, that is going to give you the formulas to the universal code that we all hear. We all receive it, but we don't all know what to do with it. And we're not all connected with the same direct connections. So it's very important that you know how to honor that connection with our infinite power and believe it. You must trust it before you trust another human being. You've got to trust that connection. Because everything that you're sharing with me today, spiritual superstars, everything is gifted to you from our infinite power, from our divine source for a reason. And so let me end here. Let me share this with you, okay? Once you realize the visions, the dreams, the goals that you have that no one gave to you, your mama didn't tell you to have this dream. Your daddy didn't tell you to have this goal. Your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other, your guy, your lady, your best friend, your kids, your grandma, your teacher, your manager, your neighbors, an influencer, mentor. Nobody told you to have this dream. Nobody. You share it with others. That's how people know about it. You exhibit it. That's how parents see it in you. You express it. That's how other people know this is your passion. Spiritual superstars, you embody the vision, the goal, the dream. You are the embodiment of what God gifted you with. And knowing that, I pray to God that tells you to do everything in your power to manifest it. Don't let that dream die within you. It's connected to so many people. You're gonna bless so many. You've got to be okay being the oddball. You've got to be okay being the one that says, I am gonna make this happen. I hope that that really helps you. And I pray that you want to be a part of what we have going on at Spiritual Guidance Academy. Because I want to help you succeed. You deserve to feel that satisfaction of knowing you've blessed somebody else. Knowing that when you stepped out on faith, which is all God, that you changed somebody else's life. Just because you were able to look past being judged or ridiculed, that you were able to say, even though no one in my family gets it, even though no one in my family understands me, that I'm willing to do this because I know who gave me this dream. I know who did. I want to help you do that. That's my mission. My mission is to help you do what I do, except it's in the way that you can do it. I can't do. You're the only one that can do it. I use my gifts to help other people, to help people be happy, to succeed, to change their own energy, to see a vision, a life that they can't see. I help people manifest their dreams. I help people learn how to hear from God, how to stay connected with the Most High, how to rely on God, how to interpret their spiritual guidance. And we are changing the face of spiritual industry to be diverse. Spiritual Guidance Academy is a hub, and it is the biggest hub to give and receive spiritual guidance. So I pray to God that whoever is ready to give value, you may not feel ready. Good. Nobody needs you to be perfect. Nobody needs you to be like others. Those that God assigned you to need you to be you, not like your mentor, not like the influencer that you watch every day. They need you to be you. So I pray that you're willing to be a part of that, and I pray that you're willing to receive from those in their integrity who are willing to give you because they are experts in what they are meant to do. You came here to do a job unlike anybody else, and you do it like nobody else. And that's who we need, you. So I pray that I see you over there. It's our membership and our teachers, as well as our light workers, seekers, star seeds, healers, spiritual superstars. Get in there. Get in our membership. We're meeting as consultants and teachers next week, which is the first, I don't know if that would be considered the first or second week of January 2022, but we're meeting on the 7th, okay? I'm sorry, on the 11th. It's the 11th. 1/11/2022. We're meeting in 1/11/2022, and I want you to be a part of that. I want you to receive. I want you to thrive. I want you to help other people thrive. It's a beautiful thing. All right. So I love y'all to life. Good. Sunny says, I'm more than okay now with being the oddball. Awesome. Thank you, Tamiko. Thank you so much. That's right. Very good with the pronunciation. Thank you so much, Dominique. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Yes, I believe. Thank you so much for the light you bring. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be on the passenger side of your spiritual journey, everybody. Have a beautifully blessed day. Get on over to spiritualguidanceacademy.com. Get your copy of the book so that you can start understanding what God is telling you. You can start really moving purposefully in your life. We got a lot to do. I want you to be doing what you came here to do just as much as me. You know, I love y'all. Mwah. I will see you very soon.